share the video. Good evening, Madam Dorothy, the woman. It's just gonna be a quick one. Good evening, Sir Armstrong. Good evening, guys. I trust everyone is doing great. As you're coming in, like and share the video. I'm here just to put the record straight. Because most likely the silence from our end, not saying a word, is, giving them the opportunity to fly a false narrative. So I'll just give it about 2 minutes, then I just say what I need to say. I believe my voice is coming out. So first, I greet everyone once again. I know most have been worried about updates. Most of us are worried about Ijele's health. And, I would try not to speak about his health for some reasons, but for the record, Ijele is still ill. And we are doing our very best for him to get all the treatment he needs. So I just want to address these stories that's been making rounds on social media by different so-called bloggers and Nigerians alike, that Ebuka Obi forgave Ijele, has forgiven Ijele. That is what he said, but I'm here to put the record straight. Personally, I have tried not to speak on this, and we within the cycle, we have chosen not to speak on it, but I believe at this point it's best I break the silence. First, what he said, it is what Ebuka said through his proxies. Ebuka did not forgive Ijele. For the record, this thing started since March 20th or 21st to 2024. I don't want to take us most down the lane. Now the question is, it was last week Thursday, Ijele met all his bail conditions, the judge signed, and within the hour, because they have people on their payroll, they came up with the so-called image laundry, which they have no image to launder, that Ebuka Obi has forgiven Ijele. Someone who has met all his bail condition, perfected his bail condition, the court signed, what else is there? Now the question is this. Ijele did not even agree to negotiate with all the persons that were sent to him. He refused, and for those of us who know Ijele, maybe on social media, or who has met him in person, you should know the kind of character he is. He refused to entertain any of those conversations. Now, Ebuka Obi did not deem it fit through his proxies to come up with this story that he has forgiven Ijele, not until Ijele fulfilled his bail condition, met everything, and they came up to fly with this news that he has forgiven him. Now, I want to ask questions. These are the questions I need to ask his proxies. They should come out to explain how they managed to, engage in unethical conduct, how they managed to mislead the courts. These are things they should explain. At the end of the day, I do not want to tell Ijele's story. I've always said this. I believe he will be here to tell his own stories. He will be here to set the record straight. He will be here to, correct the narratives. I only do this because most persons are flying with this narrative. They should go ahead and do their image laundry. But the truth is, Ijele met all his bail conditions. The judge signed. He fulfilled his bail. Yes, there are legal challenges here and there. He understands this, including the case of the clergy from, I think they call him Daddy Hezekiah, right? He is not shying away from anything. So there are no records. First, how will they claim you are forgiving somebody when the case is still in court? In October, the case is coming up between Chukwuka Ofebu and Ebuka Obi, whom the IG of police is the one prosecuting him. The courts, on the last date, struck out 2 out of the 3 count charges. The 1 count charge that is left is going to come up, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 22nd of October in courts. And there are other pending cases. I'm not going to be here to discuss anything that I'm privy to. But this narrative that he was forgiven, that is a complete deception. That is nothing coming from the camp of pathological and compulsive liars. They should be explaining to the people, how did someone who was healed and healthy, he spent 55 days in Kefi Correctional Center, he never had any health issue, no health challenges. They did their shenanigan on the 15th of May, brought him to Lagos. He was remanded in Ikoyi Correctional Center. 2 weeks after, he started complaining about, not understanding his body system. Sometime in June or so, I can't remember the exact date, he started coughing up blood. It is no longer a news that Ijele is on dialysis. These are the questions they need to come and explain. These are the things begging for answers. Now, the evidence is there. Prior to him being invited by the Nigerian Police Zone 7, Ebuka Obi, in his pulpit, said it, that he has the judges in their palm. In Igbo palace, or in Igbo language, he said, which means they have the good, the bad, the ugly, they can poison you, they can kill you. The same Ebuka Obi, on his pulpit, said those bloggers who are analyzing his video, critiquing him, talking about him, that they will begin to have kidney issues. The question before us should be, how did Ijele become gravely sick in Ikoyi Correctional Center? And let me put the record straight. Ijele has no underlying health issues. He has no medical condition of whatsoever. Those of us who have had relatives who have had an issue with kidney issues do not come up within a month. The court has ordered that the correctional center should release his medical records. He was poisoned, allegedly, in prison. How did that happen? Blood clot was found around his chest. Today he's on dialysis. Now they are claiming he has forgiven him. These people are very malicious. They lie a lot. These are pathological liars and compulsive liars. They try to launder image which they don't have. At the end of the day, from the 20th of March, these same persons engaged through the corrupt judicial process to engage in every judicial abuse. On April 18th, most of us saw what happened. After the magistrate, Iyana of Magistrate Court 2, struck out the case on lack of jurisdiction, another judicial abuse went through, they took it to Magistrate Court 11. I'm trying to build this, foundation or this framework to make you people understand when they come that they're forgiven. No, Ijele met his bail condition. Nobody forgave Ijele. Ijele did not have that agreement with anybody. They can say this thing because of what? They try to launder their image prior to their so-called crusade they are going to do in Imo State, which is good and fine. That is their business. But they should not come to deceive the public. They should not come here to try to put out an image which they do not have. The question I'm asking them, have they exhausted their malicious intent? All the affidavits that was produced before the court in Abuja are all nothing but perjury. falsification of information. They lied against the person of Ijele. Now, he is claiming to forgive Ijele when he has used the unprofessional conduct of the police prosecutors and, the abuse of judicial process to fundamentally abuse Ijele's fundamental human rights. I want to set this record straight. The case is still in court. The last court date, the court struck out 2 out of the 3 count charges, and the last count charge will be contended. Everything that Ijele has achieved on this, case has been the effort of Chief Femi Falana of Falana Chambers, Marvin Omorogbe, Deji Adeinju, and Zainab. So nobody should come to put out a narrative that is not truth. Ijele has a case in court. That is simple truth. And tomorrow, I believe when the time is right, he will come out to set the record straight. So this narrative they are pushing with different blogs, calling a conference that Ijele has been forgiven. No. Let me say this. Last week, Thursday, the judge signed. Ijele met all his bail conditions. He has fulfilled it. But, there are still some legal challenge, which I wouldn't discuss, not relating to him not being out today. And then they rushed out to put up a face that they have forgiven Ijele. No. Ijele is walking the talk. I've tried not to speak on these issues. We have tried to maintain silence because at the end of the day, our interest is getting Ijele's health back. He cannot be having such a health challenge. Then I will be saying much on social media. He's a family guy. He's got elderly parents. But I'm here to set the record straight. Ijele is more than determined to fight this to the latter. And let me set the record straight again. Let me just say this. For those of us who may not understand, this case between Ijele and Ebuka Obi is setting a precedent within the legal framework in Nigeria. It's one of its kind. Whether you like it or not, in future cases, this case can be cited as an example. Lawyers can use it to file for maybe one ex party or that. All these lawyers who are there giving press conference, speaking as Ebuka Obi's proxy, they should go and bury their head in shame. These are a crop of unprofessional lawyers who engage in unethical conduct. But this is Nigeria. They will get away with everything. These are the same lawyers that lied to the courts. These are the same lawyers that falsified information. Now I ask, from the first affidavit that was submitted by the police to the last, which of them is truth? Lying on perjury that Ijele was arrested, lying on perjury, lying on oath that Ijele is a kidnapper, a human trafficker. What is the correlation between cyberbullying, cyber stalking, criminal intimidation to life, and those affidavits? The same persons that engaged through his associated persons carried out every abuse of judicial process and shenanigan is coming out to put up a face. These persons can preach Christ, but they don't have any personal relationship with God. I don't even want to go there. Most of us have seen it. Only those who do not want to accept reality, then reality will hit them. Let me just digress a little bit. We have seen so many of these, so-called God of men in Nigeria. We have seen so many of these God of men in Nigeria. When they have issues, they begin to approach the courts. They begin to approach the police. But same persons will try to claim they have the magic wand to do whatever. So, guys, I just want to put this out there for the records. Ijele will soon be out. Ijele met his bail condition. The same persons that are claiming that they forgave Ijele, these are the same persons that went and maliciously induced that in a civil case, Ijele was given a 50 million naira bail bond. I do not even want to say our experiences. For those of us who are aware, it is over 2 months plus he was granted bail. The same persons went and put, guys, you may not understand how unprofessional, unethical the judicial officers are. Don't take my word for it. Those with experience, those who have interfaced, who understand what I'm saying. Even there's a video of a retired Chief Justice of the Federation. She retired in Lagos. She granted an interview. I think that was like a seminar or a symposium when she was saying how corrupt most of these judicial officers are. When I say judicial officers, these are the civil servant that works in the judiciary. These are the people they are using to frustrate every bail effort. But I'm not going to say all those things. I'm not going to say all those things. Not to even talk from the correctional center. At the end of the day, we understand all these things. Those of us within the cycle, we knew how much these guys tried to get their way through in Nasarawa. They couldn't. And they had to find their way, lied, falsified documents, and took him to Lagos. Now, the point is, when did they realize that their game is up? We will be in courts. Ijele will be in courts. Chief Femi Falana and the rest of the legal team, they are challenging the last charge. Remember, it's a 3-count charge that was amended. The court has struck out 2 and is remaining 1. So in all these months, they did not deem it fit to say, oh, we are forgiving him. They should rather say to the public that they have satisfied their malicious intent, that they have achieved their malicious goal. The word forgive should not come into play, because that is an insult to the sensitivities of people. They should rather be proud to say, we have exhausted, or we have satisfied, or they have satisfied their malicious and criminal intent. That is the right word for them. That is all I wanted to say. So I just don't want to say much, because there are things I wouldn't say in public, but all I can say, the legal team, thank you to Chief Femi Falana, Marvin Omorogbe, Deja Deyinju, Zainab, and of course, the People's President, Omoyele Sowore. Thank you so much for this group of persons, for coming behind Ijele, for helping him to fight for justice, irrespective of the challenges, and us as well. Thank you to every person that have reached out, even in the comment section, those who have reached out via Messenger, those who have reached out to ask about his well-being, and those who have supported in various ways. Thank you so much, everyone. I thank you sincerely on behalf of Ijele. We truly appreciate your efforts. And Ijele is going to be out soon. But like I did say, his health is the most important thing for us now. Yes, he has met his bail condition. He has fulfilled his bail. Just some legal framework to conclude everything. He will be out. He will be with us. And we'll look for the means for him to have a better treatment. These persons that are claiming that they forgave Ijele, they are the ones that are using the correctional officers to harass and intimidate him. Now, let me say this. For those of us who may have had relatives or friends or experience with dialysis, he goes on a dialysis, comes back. Now, they would not want him to have his rest. The same persons that are claiming they forgave him are the same persons that are using a certain correctional officer from the East that took Ijele forcefully away from the police hospital where he was on admission and returned him to Ikoyi. What was their game plan? They wanted to unalive him. That is simple. You know, that is simple. Like I say, I don't want to tell his stories. He will be here to tell the stories. He will be here to set the record straight. So for those who are banditing this information through his proxies that Ebuka Obi has forgiven him, they should put the record straight. They have exhausted or they are fed up with their malicious wickedness and evil intent. That is simple truth. They can go on with their image laundry. They have no image to launder. They can only do this to their gullibles, not to those of us who have that inside knowledge and that experience, you know, that are privy to information. That's all I will say. Guys, I'll leave you here now. And hopefully, one of these days, Ijele will be here in person to tell his stories. Evening, sir. I don't want to be the one to tell his stories. I don't want to be the one to narrate this ordeal. But for those of us who have been following the sequence of events, you know, it's been quite challenging. It's been quite frustrating, to be honest. But it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. And when you see all these God of men, one of the reasons they run through the judiciary or through the court is because they know how compromised, how bastardized the system is. And that is the fate that befalls not just Ijele, not just myself, any one of us. And guys, for the records, Ijele did not enter into any form of peace agreement with anybody. Till this minute, all Ijele is demanding is justice. Thank you guys, and I'll speak to you all some other time. Bye now.